Before anyone says it, and I know there's going to be some comments, I am starting to look like Dan Hendrickson. I know I'm wearing FootJoy, head to toe. I'm Dan Hendrickson 2023 version, but funnier. Today we are reviewing golf clubs. I know, I always said I wouldn't do it, but we need to do it to grow. This will not be the best review you've ever seen of these golf clubs. However, it will be the most honest, as I am not paid to review these golf clubs. They did not send me them, and unfortunately I'm not giving them away because I've nicked them off Dan. If I don't like them and they're no good, then we will tell you they are no good. Introducing the CALEY irons, a set designed for low to mid handicappers looking for the ultimate combination of distance, control and tighter dispersion. Is it time to upgrade your equipment without downgrading your bank balance? Premium clubs for a fair and affordable price. A set of these clubs, non-customised, will set you back around £500. So here is my unpaid review of the CALEY 01T iron. So I headed down the local range to put the clubs through their paces before I took them onto the golf course. So after hitting 100 golf balls at the range, it's now time to take the golf clubs onto the golf course to give them a test and a full review. So for this particular review video, I'm not going to use the TrackMan or a quad. And the main reason being, if you were to buy a set of uncustomised golf clubs, you wouldn't have that same opportunity. If I was one of these direct to consumer brands, which is what CALEY is, what Sub 70 is, and what PXG is to a certain extent, I would actually have a 7-iron trial club that you can maybe purchase for a reduced rate, which then you could try out and have a go with before you make the actual main purchase of a full set of irons. I mean, from this angle particularly, they look absolutely stunning. A little bit short. That gives me the opportunity to try the little chip shot with a wedge. Not the strongest part of my game, as we are aware. Don't know if you saw that. First take as well. Not that you're going to believe that. And here's a better close-up. Look at that. I mean, that is pure looking. It looks like a traditional blade, which I absolutely love visually. Actually a hollow body construction and not a blade. On the previous model, we had the CALEY writing actually on the blade, which I didn't like. This is the previous model. So having the logo there is a big improvement. Let's have a closer look. This is pure golf club porn. Another real positive, as we're looking down at a dress, is the fact that there's minimal offset. I do not like golf clubs with lots and lots of offset, where the club is set behind the shaft. For me, again, that's not visually pleasing. Got 180 yards here. I'm going to hit the 6-iron this time. First time hitting off grass. It's on the green, yeah, good. Distance wise, very similar to my sub 70 irons. Visually, my first issue with this club, and it's me personally, it might appeal to other people, is the fact that the top line here is quite thick. When we look down at it, I can see a thick top line. I personally like to see a smaller line. It just marries up nicely, and actually when you frame the club against the ball, for me visually it looks so much better. So I would like to see a little bit of reduction there. So a good test when you're testing out your irons and you haven't got TrackMan or any data is to actually hit quite a lofted club. So I've got a wedge here, and just see how much stop you get. So see how far the ball is from its initial pitch mark. So we are slightly downwind. We've got 120 yards in. Pulled out pitching wedge. Decent strike that, straight down it. But that sort of landed near the pin and looked like it kicked on a little bit or a little bit to the left. So I hit another one. Let's have a little look. That's similar. Might have missed the green here. Wasn't a very good swing, but we should get an indication off at least one of those shots. So I'm just walking onto the green. There's the pin behind me. A little bit long, as I said, but this is quite interesting. Like, the pitch mark is here, which I think you can just about see, and then my ball is to the left of that. Just want to mention as well, when you are a direct-to-consumer brand, which we know CALEY are, then it's important to be good communicators. Reply to emails, phone calls, however you want the customer to contact you. The way that the model works, well, it doesn't work if that doesn't happen. I personally have had no dealings with CALEY other than the fact earlier today when I was filming at the driving range, I tagged them in a post on Instagram, and within 30 seconds they started to follow me and they reshared the post.
Why not give them a follow?
Which is absolutely brilliant. For a company to do that so quickly, it means they're on the ball and they're going to give that personal touch that some of the bigger brands unfortunately don't give anymore. Just dropped a ball on the edge of the third fairway, so I'm just going to give myself a decent line. I'm going to hit a 4-iron now, so I'm just going to aim at that white pole you can probably see in the distance. And the best thing about that is I actually finned it, but it still had a really good flight on it, and it's probably gone like close to 200 yards, and it wasn't even a very good strike. It's very low on the face, but I still got really like decent distance out of it, and it was very straight. So if you hit your bad one straight, you're never going to be in too much trouble. Hit another 4-iron now, and hopefully try and find the middle of the bat. Come on, let's put a good swing on it, shall we? Again, fractionally thin, hence no divot, but still pretty happy with the flight. A very, very straight flight, quite penetrating as well. I am going to hit one more. Don't tell the greenkeepers you're only allowed to hit 2 shots at a time. I'm going to hit one more and then try and hit the middle. I mean, third time lucky and all that. Let's actually strike one, shall we? Yes, much better. But again, although I've hit that in the middle of the bat, the actual shape and the flight is very similar to the ones I hit on the bottom, which is great. If your missed hits go straight and you still get decent elevation and decent flight on it, then you're not going to go too far wrong. That is very forgiving. That surprises me a little bit. So just while I'm waiting for the group in front, there's a couple of people out playing a few holes similar to what I'm doing. I've got a couple of issues. They're not major and they're easily fixable, but I've just picked up the 7-iron here. However, the grip on three of the 7 clubs are not on straight. I lined it actually up the grip square and then look at the club face. The club face is quite a way open. It's a shame. It's not a massive issue because you could get a pro, I could take that grip off, straighten it up and put it back on. And I have seen on major manufacturers also grips have not been on straight. For me, that maybe some of the bigger companies would have more checks before they send the clubs out. Secondly, if you're ordering these clubs and you're going for the grips and you have normal regular grips, this is a standard lambkin, but it seems to be quite thin. I don't know how much tape is underneath that, if any. Sometimes now they blow them on with air. I can't actually see any tape. In fact, I don't think there's any tape under that grip under close inspection, so I'd ask for, if you're going for a standard grip, I'd ask for at least an extra layer of tape under the grip, because that's even slightly too thin for me, who has thin grips. So here's the 3 shots I hit. These 2 are the thin ones, and the one that I struck, which is another sort of 5 or so yards further. Right, so I'm going to do the same test I did on the last hole. Just trying to find my rangefinder. There it is. We've got 122. It's a fully forged face as well, which is good, so it should give some added feel when you're hitting it. They do feel quite soft, which is nice. They're not clicky. You do find some of these clubs that are built this way actually are. Okay, that's pretty good. It's high. Go a little. So that'll be interesting. I landed that on the downslope. It's a better strike. Might be a bit long actually. Get down. Down. Okay, that's carried everything. Carried everything. Anyone who has watched any of the reviews from other probably more established, well-known reviewers on YouTube will notice that people have said it looks very much like a tailor-made P790. I agree with that. It's got certain similarities and the tech is very similar. As I mean, even CALEY have got an advert out which is basically comparing themselves to that particular model of golf club. But I personally feel that this club actually looks better walking onto the green, and that's my pitch mark here, which is a downslope, and the ball's finished what, 3 or 4 paces further from where the pitch mark is, which I'd be pretty pleased with a stop on that from a pitching wedge. My slight issue with these style of clubs, and it's not any different from this CALEY to the P790s, and Mizuno do a very similar constructed club, is that you do, for me personally, I get the odd flyer. Coming out of the rough, bit of wet ground, even off the fairway, you sort of get the one that pops and just flies that extra sort of half a club further. And that's exactly what this last shot did. It's quite nice to chip with, to be honest. It's not too big. It's not as small as your specialist wedges, which we'd normally use around here, but yeah. That is me and not the club. On the 4th hole at Chester, there's a par 3. It's not very far. It's exactly how far it is. It should be like an 8 or 9 iron ideally. It's 160. Very small tee. This is the 8 iron. It's long enough, it could go in. Imagine if I'd hold it. Decent flight on that. Again, high but sort of moving through the wind, which is good. Hit an 8 iron again, and I have finned that. So right on the bottom. Be interesting to see what of it. One good strike and then one fin strike. So it's a good indicator of how forgiving these clubs actually are. Let's go and have a little look and see where they finish on the green. This is the good strike, which is finished here. So it's pitched straight down the flag with the 8 iron and finished a yard to the left of where it's landed. The one that I finned has still landed on the green, which is here, and then finished up here. So it's kicked forward. It's almost to the same area as the well struck one. So just shows again that these clubs are quite forgiving, particularly with the more lofted clubs. So I played 4 or 5 holes hitting these clubs, like dropping a couple of balls down, hitting them off the grass. We've had a full range session with them as well, where I've hit over 100 balls, and my conclusion is I'm really impressed with these irons. They are good value for money. £500 for a non-customised set and $549 for a customised set is really, really competitive. Are they as good as some of the premium clubs that are being produced by you like the TaylorMade, CALEY, Ping? I would say it depends on the individual. I would like to see a higher handicap or mid-handicapper try these clubs, and probably I'd recommend that if you're thinking of buying these clubs, then maybe go and watch a review from someone with sort of a low sort of teen handicap, maybe 11, 12 handicap, just to give an indication of how they and what they think about the clubs. Don't bother, because I am now that mid-handicap golfer. I've had to swap hands because the camera's quite heavy. But for me personally, could I game these golf clubs? Absolutely I could. Do I hit them better than my existing clubs? I get a different flight off them, particularly with the low irons. It's a lower flight, it's slightly more sort of penetrating, and then with the more lofty clubs it's higher, so it's a different flight, but I could definitely use them, and I'm pretty sure that if I game them for a couple of months, my scores would be very similar to what I'm actually scoring with my existing clubs. Everybody knows that I love the underdog. I feel like I'm a bit of an underdog myself. I like the story about CALEY and how it's been made and how it's developing. These clubs are definitely better visually than the previous model, 100%. Will the next model be better than these again? I would say definitely. Technology wise, everything in these clubs is similar to the P790 TaylorMade. Are the P790 TaylorMade clubs better? I would say that maybe they're assembled slightly better.
One area of concern might be the durability of the clubs, and you can see a few marks already appearing on the CALEY irons. This does occur on most forged golf clubs though. One advantage that the big brands have is more shaft options.
However, when I went into the customization section to make the clubs more bespoke to me personally, I could only find the KBS shaft, which I'm using now, in a stiff or regular. There was no extra stiff option, there was no graphite shaft option. I know it's a fledgling company, it's a new company, and they probably haven't got the resources or the shaft options yet sorted out, but for me they need to add some more shafts, because the shaft is an important element of any golf club, and if you've only got two options, you're taking out a big percentage of golfers who are maybe seniors, ladies, juniors. So at the moment it only seems to be for lower handicap golfers and mid handicap golfers, which in the future hopefully they'll be able to add to what's available, and then it makes these clubs more readily available to every single particular golfer. For anybody on a budget who wants a really good set of golf clubs and in the market for around about £500 new, then I definitely think you should check them out. Thanks everyone for watching, hope you've enjoyed this review. Remember to hit that subscribe button, like this video and comment below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you very soon.